Hey y'all, thanks for stopping in. There's a lot going on right now in our Congress, in the upper levels of our government, with the looming government shutdown and the nonstop funding to the Ukrainian war, non-NATO ally country that the United States has no obligation to protect or defend, but for some reason keeps sending money to the tune of billions, tens, hundreds of billions. I don't even know at this point. It's just ridiculous. Which is kind of besides the point, because I want to talk about Matt Gaetz in this video. And I want to start with this tweet or X post or whatever they're called nowadays. But this one was an article from Politico, and it says, "What does Matt Gaetz really want?" There are a number of theories behind Florida Republicans' hostile feud with Kevin McCarthy, including his wide expected gubernatorial run in 2026. His response was spending cuts. The correct answer is spending cuts. Single subject spending bills. Have I been unclear about this? This is exciting to me on multiple facets. I love hearing that Matt Gaetz might potentially be Ron DeSantis' gubernatorial replacement here in Florida. I do wonder if it's actually more effective for him to stay in Congress and be able to make more broader decisions about war and other things like that. Whereas if he just kind of limits himself to Florida. But I did learn during the pandemic and all the shutdowns and all that your local government is actually more important and impactful on your life directly than a federal leader, a federal government, essentially. I learned the difference about how states are ran and then how the federal government is run. You know, like, for instance, how Trump allowed the states to govern themselves when it came to the shutdowns. And some states like Florida and Texas opened up sooner, and other states like California and New York stayed closed, forcing a lot of people with the means to actually evacuate those states. It's actually been great for Florida and Texas for that, like, almost direct reason, in my opinion. You know, I just hope that those folks that moved down here realize that the politics that they left behind are things that they left behind for a reason, and they don't drag that stuff with them and then eventually make their new home the place that they left, right? From Matt Gaetz. America is going into deeper debt to pay off the debt of Ukraine. I'm trying to stop it. Today, I'm introducing an amendment to reduce the USAID's federal funding by $4.5 billion. We should focus on economic development of our country. So, you know, there's an example right there of leadership by example, where he said, you know, cut spending. I mean, he introduced an amendment to reduce funding by $4.5 billion. This right here actually is a great story. I'm not going to play it on my channel, but it's about Chris Jones running the 40-yard dash at the Combine. And you can find it on my Twitter there, just at Worrell. If anybody wants to see that, I posted that, I retweeted it, whatever. And it's pretty funny. That was from the New Heights podcast with Travis Kelce and his brother Jason. But that brings me to this article over here from the Daily Wire. Let me center that up just a little bit. Matt Gaetz files motion to oust Speaker Kevin McCarthy. McCarthy responds. And I actually have those that little thing right here is pretty funny. Where is it at? And then you got Elon Musk chiming in. This exchange is amazing. The Hodge twins, who you got? Gaetz or McCarthy? Let's go ahead and click Gaetz. And Gaetz has it by 86% to 14% of 25,799 votes. 6 hours left. You know, let's go ahead and just repost that. I like that one. That's fun. Those are fun. Like I said, just for fun. D-Day Cobra. LFG. American flag. Love the picture. Some funny stuff there. Krasenstein, Ed Krasenstein, GOP self-destruct is interesting. You know, it's funny that these Democrat lefty folks see it as the destruction of the GOP. It is. It's the removal of the, you know, deep state, for lack of a better term, but the lifers, the folks that have run their way past their terms, the folks that have enriched themselves far beyond their political salaries will provide. Everybody's got a rich billionaire husband or wife, right? Oh, just by coincidence, they're all married to the smartest business people in the country. Just all so happen to be married to senators and congressmen and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, we see it. There's too many of them doing it for too long. And it's right about time that we have the proper turnover so that we get political leaders that actually represent the people. And I believe that's what Matt Gaetz is doing. You can go back up to that, just a small sample size, an X small sample size of Hodge twins followers, probably some others, but it's an 86 to 14% gap, difference. It's an 86 to 14% difference. 26,000 people participated. So, I mean, that's a very small sample size, but it is a sample. So like I said, I believe that Matt Gaetz is actually doing more for the people, the voters, than Kevin McCarthy and a lot of these folks that have just been there too long. So that brings me back to my original dilemma. Matt Gaetz, I think, is doing such a great job calling these people on what they're doing. He's building good friendships with, Lauren Boebert and a lot of these other folks that are voting along with him. And it'll be tough to see him lose that position, but at the same time, me being selfish and want to have a good, strong Republican, I guess Republican, just because I can't go with the Democrats right now. They don't stand for anything, or at least they don't stand for anything principled that I respect or want as a leader from my leadership. So I want a strong, principled leader by example. Matt Gaetz would be a great candidate. I haven't heard anybody else proposed as a potential person interested in the job. So if Matt Gaetz is the option, 100% he's got my vote. I can say that right now. But that's, 3 years away because everybody knows DeSantis ain't getting the nomination, let alone going to be elected. He should have just waited his turn and supported Trump. Instead, he listened to bad advisors and lost folks that would have supported him otherwise. People that would have just blindly voted for him now don't like him. Now they want to try to make Florida look bad and call him this or that when, frankly, he's the best governor in the country, in my opinion. I don't want to lose him either, so that's why I didn't want him to run. I didn't want to lose him as my governor. Let alone, I believe the country needs Trump for 4 more years. Let's just go back to the story and actually start it, right? Here we go. Rep. Matt Gaetz filed a motion on Monday night to oust House Speaker Kevin McCarthy from his leadership position, setting the stage for a vote in the Congress lower chamber. The move comes after Gaetz has faced significant criticism in recent days over what many say is a personal vendetta against McCarthy over a House ethics investigation into him that started during the last Congress. Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Clause 2A1 of Rule 9, I rise to give notice of my intent to raise a question of the privileges of House, Gaetz said, declaring the office Speaker of the House of Representatives to be vacant. Resolved that the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives is hereby declared to be vacant. And this was something that Matt Gaetz and his little group of young, newer congressmen and women were able to work into the deal where, if you remember, they were voting against McCarthy being Speaker. They were holding him back. McCarthy needed them to vote for him. Otherwise, it was just never going to happen. And so they were able to work in a deal basically where they could easily remove him if he doesn't fulfill his promises, which is what, in my opinion, is what should be a standard held to all politicians. If you run and say you're going to do this and that, and then you go and start doing the opposite, you should be able to be held accountable and not just say, I won the election, too bad, so sad. You know what I mean? Gaetz maintains that he is seeking to oust McCarthy because he claims McCarthy has not fulfilled his promises. And that was per what they had in there, right? What they put in. The last time that the House has held a vote challenging the Speaker of the House was in 1910, according to CNN. Matt Gaetz filed a motion to vacate the chair, setting up a vote to oust Speaker Kevin McCarthy within 2 legislative days. Okay, so they got 2 days. That was October 2nd. Today is October 3rd. So we will be getting more news on this soon. A Punchbowl News founder Jake Sherman reported, the Democratic side of the House erupted in laughter as Gaetz left the floor. Gaetz told reporters earlier in the day that if his motion fails, that he plans to keep refiling until McCarthy is out. Good. Be persistent, be principled, get the results that the people want. Let the Democrats laugh all they want. Let the Democrats see it as bickering within the GOP. But what it is the GOP getting right. Getting rid of the nonsense, which is something that I look forward to. And I believe with a strong GOP, principled people that aren't enriching themselves beyond their government salary, this country will be much better for it. And then hopefully some of the younger Democrats can recognize and follow suit. Wouldn't that be great? But like I've said, it took Speaker Kevin McCarthy 15 votes to become the Speaker. So until I get to 14 or 15, I don't think I'm being any more dilatory than he was, he said. CNN reported over the summer that the House ethics investigators who are reviewing allegations against Gaetz are focused on claims that he may have engaged in various types of misconduct. They're going to go ahead and investigate him, right? That's what they do. They use the machine against their political opponents, the deep staters, and that's the they, and I say deep state because I don't have any other way of saying it, right? It's the people that have been there for their whole entire life that don't represent the people. They represent themselves in their own bank accounts, and they're, people that have bought them or leveraged them over their long tenure in their position. But let's just go ahead and finish this one up. When Democrats launched the probe in 2021, they announced that they were looking into allegations that Gaetz may have engaged in sexual misconduct or illicit drug use, shared inappropriate images or videos on the House floor, misused state identification records, converted campaign funds to personal use, and or accepted a bribe, improper gratuity, or impermissible gift. It just seems like they're throwing the whole book at him, right? Impermissible gift, right off the top of my head. AOC went to some gala with a super expensive dress that was a gift, right? Even if it was rented. I'm sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but it wouldn't be the first time a politician accepted a gift. Come on, how hypocritical is it for politicians to say we might have taken an impermissible gift or improper gratuity? What do you mean? He took a tip? He left too small of a tip? It's kangaroo court type stuff, right? It's going after their political opponent because they can't beat him with ideas. They go after them with the system so they can try to shut him down that way instead. And it's funny that these people see him as an enemy. They're supposed to be co-workers, but they see him going in there trying to disrupt things, and that's what they're afraid of. They like to go to their job, their cushy space every day, pass laws that enrich themselves and their families, and live in their high horse, right? And now Gaetz is a threat to their way of life. But their way of life isn't the healthy way of life for America and Americans. So he's doing the right thing. Let's finish this. Gaetz has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing and responded to Fox News report with the following post on X. Okay, so you can see where that's maybe how he feels, but he's not backing down. Good ideas, good principled people typically win in the end, or at least they should. I don't know. Fingers crossed on this one. Not happy with anything going on the Republican or Democrat side up there in Congress, besides with what Matt Gaetz is doing pretty much. So maybe a couple other exceptions. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap up there. This one's been pretty long. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button. Consider subscribing to the channel. Share this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much.